It's me! BonecoldPlays on the PS4! And I'm going to play Cash Bandicoot right now. So if you don't mind, I'm just gonna load up the game. I quickly need to just go help my mother with some dishes and stuff, who called literally as I was starting up here. So I'll do that, but while I'm waiting for that, I'm gonna play the intro cutscene to Crash 1, where you get to see Crash being made and shit. Yes, I know it's weird. And then you're probably just gonna see it cut to the gameplay, and if I'm not back in time, just, I don't know, maybe watch one of my other streams just for a bit. Just remember, if I'm not here for the stream, just go back and watch a little bit earlier, because almost nobody joins immediately, and I'll be spreading the word in the meantime. So if you just see me get to Insanity Beach and I don't move when the gameplay finally starts, that's just because I'm busy doing something. I'll be back in just a few seconds. Alright, see you guys, and I'm starting now. 3, 2, 1. Oh, hold on. Disable autosave.
But, Dr. Cortex, we haven't determined the cause of past failures.
Moron! This Bandicoot will be my general, and he will lead my Cortex commandos to world domination. This time, I shall reign triumphant. We are closer than ever before. Quickly, into the vortex.
Dr. Cortex, the vortex is not ready. We have no idea what it could do.
Failure again. Capture him!
Uh-oh.
Prepare the female Bandicoot.
Alrighty, I'm finally back after all that. With the Sane Trilogy started, I'm so sorry, I have no idea how many minutes I left you for. But here we are, starting off our adventure to go and rescue our GF Torna from the evil clutches of Dr. Cortex, and it sounded very, very wrong when he said prepare the female Bandicoot. But, oh wow, there's already a person watching. Who are you, fair maiden? Now with me here, guess that makes things twice as nice. And, you know, I never really saw what people were talking about how incredible or how amazing Cash Bandicoot was. And that's me joining the stream, so I think one guy who's here is my one friend, who I will not mention by name, for he is not, talking, and he did not give me permission, and I cannot do that to him. Oh. Well, apparently they sent a message. It just needs to appear on my phone. There's no annoying... Yeah, alright. Oh yes, it is! It is Jordan, but he does not mention his surname, so I will not mention his surname here. It is my homie Jordan from school, my arguably best friend. That is quite lacquer. Thank you for taking the time out of your day, Jordan, for joining me as I play through Cash Banooka 1, because I just got the itch to play through it again. Oh. And you can finally see what it's about. And people talk about how gorgeous this game is, but this is probably like the worst version, unless you're playing like on a PC, on like a really lower end PC, and you have to set the graphics on just to let the game run. This is probably like the lesser versions you'll see, because not only am I streaming this with a PS4, I'm only have it at 720p and 30 FPS. With the graphics being set up to, I think, high settings. I think the PC version can look better, but you know, whatever. Oh god damn it, I was close to finishing my game back then. Whatever, you can see me play through. Enable autosave slot. And that's kind of one of the things I don't really like about the Sane Trilogy, is the way they approach the autosave system. Because here you have to manually save there, and then only have one slot dedicated to the autosave, but I guess it doesn't really matter that much as long as it works. As long as it works. If you can believe it, the original game didn't even have bloody a good save system, a solid save system that you could save at will. And long story short, to other people who are watching the stream at a future date, my friend Jordan actually came to my house this one time for I don't know, just to hang out, and we were playing a bit of Crash 1. And I have to wait here or else this thing won't activate. And he actually couldn't get past this level at all. He wasn't that good, but to be fair, I don't think I would be that good either. It also took me a while to finally grip how to play the Sane Trilogy and how to handle Crash, and that sounds wrong, slightly out of context. Don't take that out of context, ever. Alright. Nice! In case you all can't tell, I'm pretty skilled at this. But man, these graphics, like, you can definitely tell Vicarious Visions who were the people who remastered the game, because of course Naughty Dog made it, but Vicarious Visions is one of the developers, I believe, of Activision, and they were the ones who did the Crash remaster, and you can really tell, and they actually made some of the Crash games on the PS2, some of the better ones too, being Crash Nitro Karts and some other stuff along the way. They also were responsible for the that I can't believe I'm talking too much. And the GBA, the Game Boy Advance, they also made 3 games there, being Crash 1, The Huge Adventure, Crash XS in the PAL regions, then Crash 2, Entranced, and then Crash Purple, which was part of the Crash and Spyro the Dragon crossover. Which was that was probably the worst game they made with the franchise, and arguably the worst game in the franchise. Some people may say. Some say it's there are some bad Crash games. That's all we're saying, but there are some great ones. A lot of people still, well, okay, most if not all people consider the golden age of the Crash games to be the Naughty Dog era ones, which was Crash 1 through Team Racing. And there were some really solid other games that came along later, like a lot of people argue that the best game when the franchise was out of Naughty Dog's hands was Crash Nitro Karts. A lot of people say that was even better than Crash 1, and even Crash 2. Even some people believe they love them more than they love it more than the Naughty Dog classics, which is unbelievable at times, isn't it? There's a lot of people that say that was the golden age, and it kind of comes down to you on what you prefer, because while the remasters are still the Naughty Dog games at heart, of course they've been remastered with different controls. Oh! And now I need to kill myself. It is remastered with the new controls and the graphical art style and stuff. A lot of people talk about how much they absolutely love the art style or how much they don't. Like, I really notice that sometimes people will love the art style but hate the controls, or hate the controls and love the art style, with some exceptions of people hating both and loving both. Personally, I haven't played a lot of the original Crash 1, but from what I've seen and especially what I've heard, this is definitely the superior version, because back in the older games, Jesus, you could... Oh my word, like, I guess I can mention this in a review, but literally any review you watch by any big or competent reviewer will explain the many struggles of the original Crash 1 with the horrible save system that game had. Because this one here, you can just press R2 during the menus and save, but back then you would either have to complete the stage for the first time, collect a gem like I do, as in smashing everything in the box, but the problem was with that you had to make sure you beat the... And look, there's someone else here! How kind of them is it to take the time out of their day to watch me play a game, and also I guess chats along in the live chat if they want to. Welcome to Cash Banuka. It is him. It is Jardin Palea. Sorry, I was just looking at the live stream again. Right, so back to the original Crash 1 save system. Now you can just press R2 and save in the menus, but back then you either have to complete the level for the first time like I did there. I couldn't get those boxes. You need to get a special gem. I can show you platforms in the later ones. Right. So in the older games, you had to finish the stage like the first time like I did there. You couldn't just press R2 like I am now and have an autosave slot and just save the game at will. You had to, I want to have the autosave slot and also that manual save slot. It just puts me more to ease. And you had to beat the bonus level. But the problem was, back then, Naughty Dog didn't balance the game well. It was horribly skewed against you. Where if you died once, that means you couldn't get the gem for the stage. And if you didn't, and if you failed the bonus level once, that was all of it gone. The whole bonus stage completely gone, dead and clear for the entire stage. And the only way to get and complete that bonus level was to finish it. So you basically had to finish either a bonus stage in your first try once in the level to save the game, or you have to get the gem, which was get through the entire bloody bonus stage and not die once. If you died once during the game, on any stage, that's the whole damn stage gone for you. And that whole save, chance to save. So it especially made... So it made the game impossible to use cheat codes, which was funny, to get things like the gems. But, it kind of did more good than bad. Which is funny, but, and it was such a glaring issue, but I always found it weird how certain games would have glaring issues back then and even nowadays, especially nowadays too. Yet devs don't seem to be able to fix it. And I also wanted to replay Crash 1. Like, one of the reasons why I'm playing the remasters is not only just for those people who keep on asking on my other streams, is this Crash Bandicoot? So, it's also for the sake that I actually set up the colors on my PS4. So the game actually looks a lot better than it did in previous playthroughs. I set the RGB rating and the contrast to full and high. So the game looks honestly much better than it used to, which is great. And I was just feeling in the itch to play through the original Crash 1, because in the Sane Trilogy, Crash 1 is definitely my favorite of the remaster. They fixed the most compared to the original, and since they worked on this one most, you can definitely tell that they put the most effort and work into it, because, I mean, just look at these graphics. This game is absolutely gorgeous. I can't help but feel that the graphics and the kind of quality of the Sane Trilogy unfortunately declines the more you play. And not really, like, level by level is what I mean. It's like game by game. You can definitely tell that, in my opinion, the quality of the remasters slightly dips, but there's nothing more I can really say about that. I'm definitely going to mention that when it comes to the reviews, and I may just play through the entire trilogy just for the sake of getting footage. But yeah, but Crash 1 is definitely my favorite remaster and my favorite game out of the Sane Trilogy, and I'm really enjoying it now, actually. They definitely fixed the most, because a lot of people have had troubles with the older controls. The fact that you can even use the analog stick like I am now. I use the analog stick each and every single time I play Cash Banuka, but a lot of people, not only on the PS1 version, were you forced to use the D-pad, because there was no analog control when the original Crash came out, which was 1996, I believe. The DualShock controller hadn't existed yet. Yeah, see? You can see those platforms right next to the thing there. We need to get a special gem later on to for it to appear, which are these colored gems, which you'll be able to see when we hit the temple, what is it called? The something city? The Sunlight City. The Forgotten City levels, and here's the big boss, the big thick Papu Papu. Oh, no, don't make those sounds. And that's one thing the Sane Trilogy actually tried to do, is that the original Papu Papu was honestly pathetic. He had like 3 HP points and it was literally just jumping on his head like this. Here they gave him 5, which is, I guess, trying to balance him. I don't know why they had to still keep the butt crack. It was there in the original, but is that really necessary? Alright, boss defeated. I'm stepping inside his chest. Yeet! And Crash just disappears out of the arena. Gone. Presto. Prego sauce. I don't know, I'm honestly just saying spewing a load of random shit. And oh wait, I just missed that little piece. I should show you people that. Rolling Stones. So, yeah, when it came to the original Crash 1, people did have problems with the controls and stuff, which Crash 1 on the PS4 fixes. And not only that, you've already seen me do it, but you can actually play through bonus levels more than once now. Yeah, there's a secret box up there. You guys couldn't see it, but when you go super Aku Aku, basically, hold on. Do I not get the Aku Aku now? Ah, no, damn it. See, I broke the box while I still... Because when you collect 1 mask, you get another hit points. When you break 2, he gets this golden hue, which means you have 2 hit points. And when you get 3, you see me go super... I can basically do kamikazes and just run into enemies when it would normally hurt me. And just smack them and move faster and hit enemies. And kill, I think, every enemy in 1 hit, or at least not take any damage except from pits. And the mask comes on Crash's face, as you've all seen. And god damn it, turning the colors up really makes this game pop a lot more. Like, Jesus. I guess it's a bit sad how I can't run it at 60 FPS, but at the same time, I really don't think 60 FPS is exactly necessary. And see, right now, when I smack the box, 3 hit points, and I become invincible. But thanks to Naughty Dog's little bit amateur design, I need to go to the bonus room now, and the whole mask kind of gets wasted. Well, not the whole, you get to use like 15% of it. So these bonus stages that I'm in now, basically you had 1 shot at them, and when you completed them you could save, which was like one of the only ways you could save. Which wasn't really the best choices back then, in 1999. Especially with how much more harder the original one is. Due to, like I mentioned, the aforementioned controls and save system, you could lose a lot of progress. Kinda depends on who you are and how you have to play it. See, you can see there's a blue platform right there. Yeah, we need to get a blue gem later on by beating the level. So now, with the levels like these, with these white crystals, as you can see, or green ones, and here's another form of a bonus stage made by the bad guy. Alright. Called Embryo, who you saw in the beginning cutscene. There he is. I don't really know how the bonus stage works and ties up in terms of the story, but he just explodes whenever we see him, which is, I guess, kind of funny. Like, haha. Yes, that was a fake laugh, you jerk. I love that meme. Yeah, these white gems. Oh wait, see, we needed to get that blue gem to open that platform, to open a secret path to get the other boxes. Because see, when you don't get all the boxes, you get this box, this kind of mystic box at the end of the stage doesn't turn into a crystal that we need to get the secret ending of the game, which I am planning to do. And I am planning to play up to the temple ruins in the stream, which is a level in the 2nd island, because right now we're still on the 1st. And to go back to this little stage part here, this is Coco's time machine, because all the way in Crash 3, the story involves time travel, and this is his sister from the future. And do you want her to join your adventure? Sure. Alright, we can swap to her now. So let me just save the game quick. Because funny story is that Crash's sister only comes into the picture in Cash Bandicoot 2. Oh, Crash Bandicoot 2. Cash Bandicoot 2 is just a funny word for it. Oh wait, she can't do this level. What am I doing? Hogwild, which is one of the one of this franchise's most iconic level styles, which is where Crash hijacks an animal and blasts through a stage, as you can see. Yeehaw! And I love the music. Vicarious Visions did a really good job on the remastered music for Crash 1. Because that's also one of the things I feel like the Crash and Sane Trilogy kind of declines with, is the quality of the soundtrack remasters the further you go throughout the trilogy. Because in Crash 1, in my opinion, most of the... Oh! That's a lot of damage. A lot of the things like the Hogwild theme you're hearing right now for these stages, the music that is, was remastered better. They added the... you can hear like the cartoony effects and the guitar, which just sounds very divine. But later on, in my opinion, a lot of the tracks are not as good as the original game, like for Crash 3 especially. I mentioned it on my WhatsApp status before to my friends, to any of you who do not know me in person, but I cannot help but feel that the quality of the soundtrack decreases, but for Crash 1, for the most part, it's better. There are some tracks like you'll hear later on. I may stream the original Crash 1 one day. And look, I even got the gem. How nice is that? I may stream the original Crash 1 in comparison, because you can definitely hear the music, in my opinion, is even better. Alright. Let me just save the stage quickly, and I can swap to Coco, because that's another thing that the original Crash 1 has, the remastered Crash 1 has over the original, is the ability to play as Coco, which is Crash's sister, who gets introduced into Crash 2, because funny story is, she doesn't exist right now. Oh, well, she technically exists, she's still locked up in the castle, because she came back in time from Crash 3 to help her brother, which is actually pretty genius when you think about it. And, she controls, I'm pretty sure, identically the same. I've heard people talk about how she looks like she has a lower jump arc, but I don't think Vicarious Visions would actually go ahead and change the height of the jump arc. Maybe that's just how it looks visually. I also thought that at first, but then when I thought about it, I was like, why would Vicarious Visions make the jump arc even lower than it already is? Well, not that it's lower, it's that the Insane controls are definitely more faster, and Crash has a slightly smaller jump arc compared to the original, which I actually prefer, because I like how the controls feel less floaty and a lot faster and more responsive. And as you can hear, Coco, for her jump and her spin abilities, she actually, what's it called, has more kind of feminine, is the only word I can describe them sound effects. Like when she spins, it kind of has a different feel. And instead of like doing a punch while she spins like Crash does, she does this kick, which is kind of a reference back to Wrath of Cortex and what's it called? Crash to Insanity. Where in Wrath of Cortex you could play as her as a full-on playable character, not just a reskin here like in the Insane Trilogy. Except she had a worse moveset, so it was kind of just a waste of time, I guess, in that game than Crash, because instead of being able to slide, she had like this other completely useless second kick compared to the first. Hold on. Alright, you need to be careful here. While the Insane Trilogy just replaces Crash's moveset with hers and gives her own little looks and even idle animations. So yeah, that's one thing the original game has over the thing, because right now she's actually locked up. Because that's one of the things I like the most in Crash 1 when I compare it to Crash 2 and 3, is that it feels like it's one connected adventure, because Crash 2 and 3 has more level by level things where you travel all over different... Crash 2 you travel all over the world, and well, not really all over the world, but other areas around the world, like ice levels and jungle levels and even space levels, and find stuff. Well, Crash 3 has time travel, so you're going to different time periods to go and get stuff. Because... oh my god, that's a lot of damage. Back in because back in Crash 3, back in Crash 2, the plot device being called a crystal, power crystals, because right now we just have the gems that you saw, and I guess the tokens in terms of for the bonus levels that you see. But in Crash 3, it's introduced that oh god, sorry, that we get power crystals, and with those power crystals we get, what's it called? That becomes the plot device and becomes mandatory to pick them up in each and every single level from Crash 2 onwards. And then in Crash 3 the story goes that after we collected them all over the world in Crash 2, there are no more power crystals left, so we have to travel back in time. So the levels feel a little bit more disconnected, while Crash 1 feels like a completely cohesive journey from the start, because we wash up on this first island here, and we make our way across to those two islands in the background, because right now, you can see from right here, there's one with a tree behind me, which is kind of nostalgic, which I'll mention why in a second, and then you can see the tower all the way over there. Which is the third island that we have to get to save Torna and stop Cortex, the the yellow skin guy we saw at the beginning, because he kind of wants to take over the world and stuff, because he wants world domination. And oh, I didn't even realize people are still talking here. Sorry. Give me a sec to just open a little bit higher and jump a bit higher, because it's just more satisfying to break stuff like this. Hey, Senjin, my dude. Hey, it's Cameron. Cameron is here. Alright, so what I wanted to mention is that we are making our way to that third island, and Crash 1 feels like a completely connected journey from start to end, while Crash 2 and 3 is a little bit more level by level. That's a lot of damage. The animation is cute though. Senjin. Cameron, if you want to know more about what I'm talking about right now, I guess you better go back to the earlier parts of the stream, as I just saved my game here. And what's it called? Yeah, Crash 1 feels like it's a journey, because now you can see we're on the second island, after getting back from the first, because we wash up here, and there's more like tribal people here and stuff, native, because these games are apparently based in some other type of Australia. Version of Australia with anthropomorphic animals with this crazy dude. Kind of weird how nobody has an Australian accent, but alright. Aussies, as people like to call people who come from Australia. And yeah, we're making our way across these islands, and it feels connected, and it gives this very concentrated feeling of progression that you don't really get from Crash 2 and 3, which is one of the reasons why I like Crash 1 the best, especially in the Sane Trilogy. Because even though Crash 3 was my favorite, was my first and still maybe my favorite Crash game overall, it's between Crash 1 on the Insane and Crash 3 on the PS1, because I prefer the PS1 version of Crash 3, despite it being remastered in the Insane version, is that each of them have their ups and downs. Crash 3 was not only my first Crash game, but it's the game that made me a gamer. Remember, I had it on my dad's PS1 back when I lived in La Mercy. Apart with two other games being Action Bass and what's it called? Action Bass and Street Fighter 2, which I used to play. But Crash 3, because Action Bass was a bit of like a fishing simulator, which was just that in itself, and Street Fighter 2 I didn't really enjoy that much personally, because I've never really been the biggest fan of 2D games. I've always kind of preferred 3D, and Crash 3 was exactly that, 3D games, and the platforming was really fun. And it's just that game definitely gripped to me and made me the gamer. It's definitely the game that made me a gamer that it was today. Sure, and got me to where I am today, and it was my first Crash games, and I love it dearly for that. But the original Crash 1, and especially the remastered, well, okay, not really the original, but the remastered is a really still solid entry in the franchise. And despite me liking more games over the years, because of course as time goes on, that was close, I still do hold the original Crash 3 to really close to my heart. But personally, my favorite levels from those games used to be the medieval levels, because you go back to medieval times, you go to ancient Dino Land, you go to and also I love the jet ski levels. Those were also really fun. I really love the medieval levels because they weren't too hard, and they were all for the most part 3D except the bonus levels, because right here it's technically 2.5D, even though it still is mostly 2D. well, it's 3D in 2D, so we'll call it 2.5D. And yeah, those levels were all 3D, and also including the dino levels for the most part were 3D, and even chase levels, which was really interesting because you had a big dinosaur chasing you. Here you have boulders and stuff. That was pleasant. Alright, next, and yeah. And I love the music from those stages too. The medieval levels and the dino levels had some of the best music in Crash 3D. And I also really like the jet ski levels, where you got to play as Crash's sister Coco, when you would jet ski back in these, like, I don't know, piratey times. That was a lot of fun. Right now we're gonna fight the second boss of Crash 1. Yeah, it's being Ripperoo, this insane... what is he again? I think he's a Joey? No, he's not a Joey, is he? Alright, how does this go? Oh yeah, he's jumping between the three, and we need to jump on... Oh! On the big TNT to get him. Yeah, it's no surprise that the original Crash 1 is definitely the weakest entry in terms of bosses. It's not that the bosses are exactly what I'd call bad, but they're definitely the weakest out of the trilogy. Which is, I guess, one of the lowlights, because Crash 2 and especially 3 definitely are much better boss fights. God damn it, why is this so hard? Okay. Okay, I need to get the timing down. Alright, I think that should be good. I think I got him now. Got him. Got-y! Alright, this should be easy. I think I got him again. And I think I got him a fourth time too. Did I? No! So close! Alright. And I drowned. Well done. Alright, so let's do this again. I think I got him. Alright, alright. That's nice. I think I got him. Okay, I think I got him now. I know I've said that like 2 or 3 times in a row, but I genuinely think so. Yeah, there we go. There we go. I don't think I got him. Oh wait, I did. Yep. That's a lot of damage. Did I get him a fourth time? I think I got him oh, did I get him? Oh, so damn close. Alright. Nope. That's definitely a fail. I think I got him now. Yeah, I definitely think I got him now. Yeah, I should have got him. Yep. Boss fight over. Please don't push me into the water, you animation. There we go. That's nice, because in the original Crash 1 you didn't really have that, which is boss defeats animations after the fight, which is something that they actually added Vicarious Vision, which is something you don't get from the original, which is also one of the reasons why I think this is the superior version, which is that little animation. And here's one of the things I like the Sane Trilogy does more, because back on the original Crash 1, you had to go through an entire stage, every single one, without dying once. Well, see, we can get the green gem up here. And what we need to do is we have to complete the stage and get through it, break every box without dying once to earn the special gem to get stuff back. So it's a callback to the original, but it makes it actually feels necessary here, since you're getting a special gem that unlocks parts of the I know it's painful, but we're gonna have to leave that life there, which unlocks part of the special ending, which is really, it makes a lot more sense. And I think it's a nice way to balance the original's difficulty with the new one's difficulty. And it feels necessary, because this is of course a special gem. It's not another walk in the park one. And it's on some of the harder levels too, which makes it which feels matching. It's definitely not a negative, but it's not on the hardest levels, which makes it perfect on some of the hardest. So they really balanced it well, in my opinion, especially in comparison to the original. And the remastered graphics are definitely at their best, because in Crash 3, what I don't, and Crash 2 I don't really like, is that they kind of focus on visual set pieces that aren't as pleasing to my eyes, in my opinion. Like here, you see a lot of jungles and a lot of greens and a lot of plants and a lot of imagery like that, which just looks gorgeous in general. And since they started here once, you can definitely tell that they made this game when they had the most I need to restart the whole stage now. It's hard, but I basically missed that little token. So what I was saying, they definitely made this one while they had the most resources, and it definitely looks the best overall. Because in Crash 3, you can definitely tell that the visuals look a little bit less polished in some areas. Like the Egyptian and the Arabian levels. So that is not already visually pleasing to my eyes, because they have to use like a lot of browns and a lot of oranges. Despite them still being fun stages. What the hell? Alright, hold on. There we go. Despite them still being fun stages, but when you have a jungle imagery like this, like just think and contemplate how gorgeous this little level is. We are in an ancient temple long after the civilization is gone, lit by a sunset in a jungle. And it has all this water here, like you can see I can fall into, which I will not. And all these plants here. It just looks gorgeous, and they made these levels fast. So you can definitely tell these are some of the best looking levels in the Sane Trilogy. And that's one of the reasons why Crash 1 is my favorite. It's just they really did a good job with Crash 1's remaster. And like I've said, they fixed a lot of the issues that the original on the PS1 had, making it infinitely the superior version, if you ask me. And even the soundtrack for the most part is better. I say for the most part because there are still like 1 or 2 tracks I thought were a little bit better on the PS1. Like for this one level called The Laboratory that it's on, it was just a little bit better done, the music. It was a lot more scary in the original, but almost everything else sounds better. They also had a lot of guitars in where the original didn't, and in my opinion it sounds infinitely better. Like, I love the guitars that they added in the Sane Trilogy, and for the most part the soundtrack sounds just as good, if not better, with the 1 or 2 tracks, while not sounding as good, they still sound like great tracks on their own. So they really did a good job with the original Crash 1's remaster. Almost every single thing here, if not every single thing, is better here, for the most part. The controls, the graphics, the music, the story even, because also the cutscenes back on the PS1 was definitely a bit off, to say the least, because you could tell those were Naughty Dog's first cutscenes. And if you just compare like Crash 1's intro cutscene on the Sane Trilogy to the PS1 version, you can definitely tell with the much more expressive facial animations, the better voice acting, the way the whole scene is directed and cut, definitely feels a lot is definitely a lot better on the PS4. And that goes for the ending and the difficulty. Just practically everything here is better than the original, and you can just do that by looking at it, not just playing through it, which I love. But then as things went on, as the older classics like being Crash 2 and okay, I thought I was gonna die there. Crash 1 got better with time, and as the Sane Trilogy, like I said, I feel kind of dips a bit in quality as we go on. Oh my god, my feelings do kind of change when it comes to Crash 2 and Crash 3's remaster. I haven't played the original Crash 2, but it looks to be on par compared to the original game. Maybe better, maybe worse. I don't know if it's the better or inferior version, or just maybe it's on par. It's very give and take when it comes to that, but in my opinion, the Crash 3 remaster is not the better version. I definitely prefer the PS1 version. Maybe that's just my nostalgia, but no, there's definitely a lot of stuff I felt they did better on the PS1 than they did on the PS4 remakes. Like the controls on the not for like the platforming that I'm doing now, but mostly for the vehicles, like the bike levels in that stage and the jet ski levels are the bike levels are a lot stiffer and the jet ski levels are a lot looser. So it definitely did not feel as good overall, because I went back and played the original Crash 3 after I played Crash 3's remaster on Insane, and I definitely prefer the original Crash 3's. And I thought that the visuals, even for certain levels, when it came to Crash 3 on the Sane Trilogy, it's kind of hit and miss on what looks better and what's look worse in compared to the PS1 levels on the original. And I know what you're saying, how can the PS4 levels look worse? But if you actually just compare how stylized the graphics are and how Naughty Dog use colorings and even water effects, like for the Egyptian Tomb Raider levels, they're called, where there's water rising and falling, the water effects actually look better on the PS1, if you can believe that. Like, just search it up for yourself. Compared to when you compare it to the water effects in the PS1 version of Crash 1 and the PS4 version definitely looks a lot better. And even the music for Crash 3 I feel is hit and miss on what is better and what is worse. So overall, and they even missed a few details and made some bosses better and some bosses worse when it came to Crash 3. While in, like, the original Crash 1, almost every single thing is better, like every boss is better. And they even missed some full-on details, like with the defeating boss cutscenes in Crash 3, which was really sad. That's why I say, I think I'll mention this more when I finally probably make a review of this game one day. And when I compare it to the original, that I definitely think the original Crash 3 beats the insane version of Crash 3. But the original Crash 1 is far inferior to in the Insane Trilogy's version. Because where the Insane Trilogy version of Crash 1 feel like it added, the Crash 3 on the Insane Trilogy kind of felt like it subtracted in comparison to the original. Oh yeah, one thing also, you see these crates that Crash is hopping like a madman between. Back on the original PS1 version, here, I can show you just in a second. See, it takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bounces and then it breaks when it gives you 2 Wumpa Fruits with a total of 10. Back on the original Crash 1, you had to jump on them 10 times. 10 times for it to finally break. And it didn't feel as good. Just getting 2 at the I almost died there. Getting 2 at the same getting 2 Wumpa Fruits at once and having 5 bounces just feels better. It makes things faster. It was just a much better choice, and you don't get that from the original Crash 1. And even the original Crash 1 doesn't have a box tally. Like how you can see it says I have 80 of 82 boxes. In the original game, you didn't even have that. You didn't even know how many what total of boxes you had in the level and how many you had actually broken. And oh my god. Oh my god, I was supposed to jump on that lizard to hit the exclamation box to get these last 2 boxes. Oh my god, now I can't get the special gem. Oh, I'm such an idiot. See, there's this exclamation box up here. You know what, whatever, I'll come back to this level, probably at the end of the stream. Oh my god, so now I'm not gonna get the gem. Great. But you missed 2 boxes, buddy. Ah, that sucks. Yes, it does. Complete F. Thank you for sticking here, Cameron. Oh yeah, so I'll return to this level afterwards, because this was the level I wanted to play to, which was Temple Ruins. So yeah, what I was saying is that I definitely feel like the PS4 remasters of Crash 1 is definitely the superior version. But Crash 3 in the Insane Trilogy PS4 remasters is the inferior version compared to the PS1. Like, you can search that up after the video, or maybe I'll even leave a link in the description just after the stream is done, because I don't want to end the stream right now. Where you can see how some levels actually look better on the PS1 with a very stylized, because despite what you can say, the PS1 versions had this like this very iconic look to them, because when you have these low poly models on the PS1 that are really pushing the console to the breaking point and have to use this extremely stylized nature to look good, because you couldn't just rely on fidelity to have good looking graphics back then. Graphical fidelity like we can now. They have a certain look to them, because after the original Crash 1 released on PS4, Naughty Dog actually made a brand new engine for the game. Well, not brand new, but they worked up the engine, which made the controls better and made the visuals look better, which had the certain style, which made them look so good. And you can actually compare how certain stuff looks better on the PS1 due to that more stylized nature. No cap, or just no lies. Oh shit, I got skewered to my side there. But I definitely like how the feel of Crash 1's levels the most, where you are going from level to level, making it all the way back to that island here. Yeah, and I love the atmosphere and stuff here. And there are also a lot more hints than the PS1 version for secrets. Like, you'll see there's a secret coming up literally in a few seconds. where these Wumpa Fruit head off. Here you just had the one Wumpa Fruit to the side, and then it was it. That was it. But here, there's 3 here, indicating that there's something here. And when you do move 3 along, bam. Haha! It leads to these secret boxes. But back on the PS1 version, there was just one Wumpa Fruit leading off the part, making you question if it was a mistake. It was a little bit more subtle back then. But this one I think was a better I'm kind of conflicted on this is a better choice, because this I have to kill myself to get that box. Which sucks, but you know, man's gotta do what a man's gotta do to get his crystals. Or Bandicoots in this case, I guess. It's the hints are definitely a bit more there. Like, I don't know if you... Shit. I don't know if you remember, but earlier on in one of the water levels when we were going down that stream, there were those Wumpa Fruit that appeared after I jumped on that exclamation box. And when that did, it indicated... I remember seeing that for the first time and being... Oh wow, I bet secret boxes appeared later, back earlier on in the levels. And when I went back there, you saw there was that TNT and that jump boost box, or arrow box, that gives Crash insane heights when he jumps. Or insane heights when he jumps. And that was a much better detail that I think was there in the original, but I remember seeing that in the insane for the first time and being like, holy shit, that's something. That was a secret, and the secrets are just better placed overall. Like, now you also know, back on the original Crash one, it was never made apparent that you had to go through a whole stage without dying to get the white crystals at the end, or just not the crystals, the gems at the end. God damn it! Now I have to redo all of this. Compared to the PS4 versions that give you little hints and little sayings as. On the why do I keep I'm messing up too much, I'm talking too fast, compared to the PS4 versions, where on the loading screens where you can see Crash's friend, which is this mask who I have not introduced, being Aku, who's also his hit points, who in turn is helping him because he doesn't want the world to be taken over by an evil genius like Dr. Neo Cortex, and is a lab assistant, so Crash but he can't really do that much since he's just a mask with magic powers. But the magic powers aren't offensive, they're defensive, which allows Crash to take one more hit. And Aku kind of becomes like a fatherly figure to Crash and even Coco in the later games, because we're going to save Crash's girlfriend there, which was kind of curvy Bandicoot woman who that Cortex is, when that appeared when he said prepare the female Bandicoot. You could see him fighting his minions. And that's one thing I actually really like about Crash 1 as well, is that you don't really see a lot of Cortex's minions that kind of feel a bit more industrial. I like how everything feels more natural. Like here in these stages we're fighting tribesmen, we're fighting spiders, we're fighting, I don't know, tortoises, just the industrial wildlife. I like the natural feeling that Crash 1 has. Because Crash 2 definitely relied a little bit more on having minions as being the main, as being enemies, and like nature minions who are, or natural things like lizards and stuff who are taken over and have become minions. Alright, nailed it. I think that was every box and we get the crystal. Ba-ba-da-ba, and then we get it. Boom. Done. Donios. But in Crash 1 there's a lot less minions. Okay, I don't know if I don't really feel like ending the stream here, but I don't want to be a clickbait with the title, but we're coming back to this stage because we have to beat the whole thing without dying once to get the gem. I just heard a knock at that. Well, it sounded like a knock. You know when your house settles and you just hear creaks and cracks for seemingly no reason, but because of gravity and the laws of physics stuff happens. And look at the hue there, and like look at the water and stuff. You can definitely tell that they made Crash 1 when they had the most resources, which I've said over and over again, but I need to make that apparent. And now I have a golden Aku mask, which is nice. And yeah, you can definitely tell that Crash 1 had the most work put into it overall as a remastered game rather than just the game itself. And it really benefits. I love Crash 1 on the PS4. It's definitely one of my favorite Crash games. And even games on the PS4 to play. Alright. For a second I thought those were going to kill me. you gotta hand it to them. Naughty Dog definitely knew what good game design was. Like, what would be bullshit there is if the bats went all the way there and I had no way to defend myself. Naughty Dog were definitely very competent when it came to game making, because while they're focusing on things like other titles nowadays, their Crash games are still solid. The Crash games are still very solid. Because in case you don't know, Cam, who joined the stream a bit later, Naughty Dog made the original games on the PS1, but ever since Activision, it was actually Universal who were the publishers and Naughty Dog who were the developers at first. But after Universal went through this whole debacle or whatever, and you can see the shadow of an Aku Aku mask there that I can't grab, or had this whole thing with the company, they had to sell the rights to Crash, and it was Activision, or who was known back then as Vivendi, who bought them. And now one of Activision's teams, when they decided to remake and remaster these games, is Vicarious Visions, who I believe are owned by Activision. There we go, gotcha. And they remastered the games, and they did a job with them, definitely. When I say job because I've literally been saying it over and over during this live stream. Crash 1 inferior, Crash 2 just as good, maybe better, maybe worse. But Crash 3 is definitely the inferior version of the game back on the PS1. Or maybe I'm just overly critical of Crash 3 and the Sane Trilogy because, like I mentioned, that was the game that made me... Oh shit! That's what I was... That's why I was panicking so much early on in the stream that I'm about to call up my ass became a diamond. Because if you miss that jump there, you take damage. Alright, I may be a bit overly critical, because that's the game that made me a gamer, back when I had my dad's PS1. Because we had the other two games being Action Bass and Street Fighter 2, but those two definitely didn't, yeah, yes, I know. Pretty, I hear that's a good one. Because my dad had the PS1, and we also had a PS2 at the same time, and this was all the way back in, I believe, 2007, where Crash actually was rebooted into Crash of the Titans, which was like this beat-em-up platforming games, which are actually still one of the better Crash games if you ask me nowadays. That was definitely different, and had a different approach to the platforming and the whole gameplay style, and I just thought that was how Crash grew up. As a kid, I could definitely still I definitely still had the opinion that Crash 3 on the PS1 was better, but Crash of the Titans was still a damn good game, and still a damn fun game. And I liked it. I really need to get along to reviewing the game, because I loved how Crash of the Titans had that feeling like everybody grew up a bit. Like, Crash had these tribal tattoos probably given to him by Aku Aku. He fought more, he could take more hits. They all looked older, the whole cast. They were also given these redesigns. Oh man, I love that game. I still love it to this day. It's not like the best Crash game, but it was a damn good entry in the franchise. And I loved how everyone grew up. And why I mentioned it much earlier, but I didn't really go on to why I said it's nostalgic. Having all that those background set pieces, which I still love. Like, I still love how you can see the other island in the background. That's a genius detail. You can definitely tell that they use 2D art there. Like, it's no secret that that's a 2D art thing of the other island in the background, like from here. But still, gorgeous game. That's definitely a 2D art all the way in the background there, of the other island. Crash of the Titans used a lot of, while it definitely did use 3D models, it used it also used for their big, like, it had, like, that's one of the reasons why I love Crash of the Titans 2, is that it used a lot of jungle imagery, especially at the beginning of the game, with a lot of 2D art, and it had these, like, really big set pieces where you'd traverse over, you could see in the background these, like, massive rivers, and you'd explore these massive temple ruins. Well, not explore, but go through these massive temple ruins, where you'd like battle your way through, because it took on like a more brawler style gameplay, and it used a lot of 2D art for that. So when I see the 2D art of like the island in the background here, it makes me like very nostalgic of that, because it was kind of weird having like the older Crash games in the PS1 and having the newer ones on the PS2 at the same time back then. But and it was like kind of weird to see how the franchise had changed, for better or for worse. It comes down to you, I guess. But I didn't mind the change. I definitely felt that Crash of the Titans, while not as a good game, was definitely still a very solid entry. It was really cool to see how the franchise grew up, Like, Crash wasn't just collecting Wumpa fruits anymore, he was collecting this magical essence called Mojo that gave him these different abilities. If you would like, Cameron, you should definitely maybe check the... or whoever else is watching, check Crash games out, they're pretty fun. They're even available. You have a PS3, right? They're available on the original PS1 classics are available on the PS3, which is actually a reason why I actually want to buy them. All right, I need to remember. Wait for this goddamn lizard to jump there. Ah, yes, okay. The coal up my ass and no longer a diamond. It's been uncompressed. Okay, no. The more you say a joke, the less funny it becomes. I need to remember that. And now I can finally get the special gem. The special gem. The green one. Alrighty. I don't know if I want to end the stream there, but yeah, you can get the original Crash 1, 2, 3, and even Team Racing, and which were all made by Naughty Dog, and Team Racing is a fantastic kart racer, I might add, on the PlayStation 3. You can download them off the PS Store. You can, which is because it's like a PS1 emulation of it on the console, and you can definitely give these games a try. I recommend the original Crash 3 personally, because a lot of the fixes that were put in the Sane Trilogy are not in the original version of Crash 1 and 2, like how I mentioned the jumping on the boxes and the crystal grabbing and all that stuff. Crash 2 is better, but if you definitely want to play a Crash game and you want to get it on the PlayStation 3, you can definitely try to get Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped. And the original PS1 version, that's definitely one of the best entries in the franchise. It's a fantastic game. It really is. You should consider giving it a try. But I don't know right now whether I want to do more, because I said Crash 1, the first island to the to Temple Ruins, and I don't know if I feel like playing a different game. But probably the more I play, the more I'm gonna kind of feel I will return back and collect every single gem, because now that you see that I got the green gem here. We can go back to the previous island, and this level here, which was actually I think the second level, being jungle rollers, a platform will appear where it wasn't a green platform using the green gem, where we can go and collect the crystal from that stage, which will not the crystal, the gem from that stage, because a new path will be open to smash every single box. So that's cool. So I will continue with this live stream later, but maybe later, but most likely tomorrow. I think right now I feel like just taking a bit of a break, and you can join me for my Dad or Boy stream, which is God of War on PS4, which I'm going to do. Thank you a lot for joining the stream, man. I really appreciate it. And to any other person who will watch the stream in the future, thank you very much. You have no clue how much I really appreciate it. See you guys next time, I guess, and thank you for joining me in just playing a video game.